What's up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw, yeah. And I hope you're ready, because we're going back to Flash, yeah. The Dastardly Death of the Rogues, issue 6. And can you feel it? Hop with me into the Speed Force and let's go to light speed, yeah, as we take off into the story. Right now, the Flash is being framed for murder. The murder of the Mirror Monarch. And he's been taken into court. And basically what's going on is that he supposedly caused his death, and yet there's no proof. But we found out that it was the top. Yes, it was the top that's been orchestrating this. And Barry Allen's trying to fill out this court. And this court's just a basic kangaroo court. He's going back. He's talking about how they were supposed to break the glass. It was supposed to turn into a Mirror Lord. And all these other creatures were supposed to spill out. His wife was supposed to be basically the new Mirror Lord, and that he would have to kill her or kill the Mirror Master. He ends up killing the Mirror Monarch by mistake. So basically this whole thing is a setup. Of course the top gets there, and Iris is wondering what the top is doing, but the top needs that box. That's actually what he's called, the top. He spins around. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. But yeah, he needs that box. He needs that evidence. It can never see the light of day. Now, as the Flash is actually dealing with this, the Rogues are kind of disappointed that nothing happened. You know, the mirror was kind of a bust. So they're basically going home to have a beer and basically lick their wounds. Of course, the Flash gets out of his cuffs, you know, because the Flash does that thing. He's able to vibrate through solid objects. That's why. And, of course, the top is actually planning to kill Iris. But the Flash grabs one of the, platforms, the little things they surf on, and he just uses his superpower and booms himself back to the past. And that's the interesting thing about the Flash. He can actually travel back and forth in time. And he starts interrogating the top. Yes, he wants some answers. And I don't blame him at this point. Being framed for murder, having to go through all that stuff. I mean, I'd be a little pissed off too. So it's Flash versus the top. And yeah, this strike force is actually set up to bring in the Reverse Flash, in case you're wondering. But the race is on. And they're both on those surfboards. And this is where the top kind of explains what's going on. If any of your relatives committed a major crime, you cannot be part of the task force. So that's why the top cooked up this whole idea. Basically to frame Barry, keep him out of the way. And he killed his friend just so he could get this information, because he wants to be an officer of the law still. Yeah, he wants to be the officer of the law by breaking the law. But at any rate, Flash is caught up to him. His board gave out. He grabbed on. And yeah, Flash can do that. He can literally run on the buildings. And he's catching up to the top. Top has nowhere to run. He has no more friends. And he hasn't even got the evidence. So this has been a big disappointment for him, you could say. But the Flash is right on his heels. Of course, they crash into each other. And this is where he takes the temporary advantage and uses his speed. Basically, he goes into like a hurricane, sort of. He starts driving him into the ground. The Flash knows right here and now that he has to stop this guy. He doesn't know where he's going to keep him. Of course, the top starts spinning as a non-friction suit. But what the Flash can do, very interesting thing that the Flash can do, is he can't touch him, but he can reverse. He can reverse the wind, basically. The tornado around him. So he starts spinning around and spinning around and spinning around the opposite direction. At light speed, it ends up shredding his suit. Without his suit, he doesn't have any power. The Flash is about to bring him in, and of course, the time-traveling rogues show up. And they want the top. And it figures they want the top. I mean, he is one of their own. He committed a crime. He murdered one of their own. So they are taking him in. And of course, Flash has no jurisdiction in this, so he lets him go. Of course, Commander Cold kind of gives him a so-so thank you. But there's one thing he always wondered: why doesn't he go back in time to prevent crimes? Because if you prevent every crime in history, history will change. And there won't be no now or then. See what I'm saying? So you have to do things from the present all the way to the future. The more you go back to the past, the more you change it. So he finishes fixing the courtroom, and yeah, he helps this lady out, ends up saving her grandson from a long time in prison. And this is what Barry Allen does in and out of the suit. He's just generally a good guy. He saves this kid's life. And of course, they're able to go home. They thank Barry, but Barry's wondering about what he heard. He heard his mom's voice. He heard a lot of different things in that mirror. And it's got him thinking, should he go back to the past? Was Commander Cold sort of right? Can they actually do that? Not even they do that. They just handle people in their own jurisdiction. Of course, this guy's pissed off because, you know, someone was wrongfully accused, so he wants to look over the last cases for the next 6 months. Basically, this guy's a butthole. Not a nice guy. So he kind of yells at Barry, yells at everybody else. And this still leaves Barry wondering, but Iris is actually thanking him for, you know, the save and everything. And he's kind of just drifting off. And this is what he does. Flash gets deep into his own thoughts. Kind of like Batman. That's something they have in common. And of course, you know, sitting there talking with Iris. And they're, you know, he's talking about, should he be able to change the past? Should he do this and that? And of course, you know, Iris keeps him on the straight and narrow. Iris is his lightning rod. But there's always something going on. And of course, in the future, there's always something happening. As the rogues are kind of in their hideout, Captain Cold's kind of having himself a cold one. And they're figuring out what they're going to do next. And they're also figuring out what happened to Digger, what happened to Captain Boomerang, if he's going to be a member of the rogues. And Captain Cold's also trying to figure out what happened in that mirror. And this is the future where the time is kind of going in flux. They're seeing 2 versions of Wonder Woman. They're seeing 2 versions of different things. And now the time is starting to flux. Everything's starting to go static. And they're wondering what's going on. But things constantly change in that century. Things constantly move. As a lone rider goes out and prays that Barry finds something called the Flashpoint. Because if not, he'll destroy us all. It'll cause mass destruction. But what is this Flashpoint? What is he talking about? Well, and who is this Dark Rider? We'll find out the next time, won't we? And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.